Hey there everyone, Mazrock here, and today with a 4-hour maintenance down and I got no kids here, let's do a way too early prediction video on tanks for 9.2. Right now we have data mine tier sets. We know that we're going to be able to wear a Covenant Legendary with another Legendary. So let's see who their winners are and things like that. Now, right off the bat, I want to get this out of the way. This list is entirely subjective. These are my thoughts. This is how I think things are going to kind of play out. Things are going to change, and I think what we should do is a couple of weeks into 9.2 is revisit this list and see how wrong I was or how right I was. Because right off the bat, there are some definite winners with the tier sets that are upcoming. Although, when we get to a certain tank, I think their tier set's actually not going to go live. Actually, there's two. One of them I don't think it's going to go live, or it's going to be not what we think it is when it goes live. The other one I think is going to be changed drastically for the better. So let's go with that. But before we get started, you know, do the algorithm thing. Please like, comment, subscribe if you like this type of content. If you want to see more of it, or if you just want to have a general chat, I'm always available on my Discord as well. There is a great group of people there that are always around that are usually around to help tanks grow and things like that. So if you're a new tank and you're thinking about getting into Mythic Plus, rating, anything like that, and you got some questions, some spec, maybe some spec questions or anything like that, there's a great positive community down there for you below. Links down there. And I stream on Twitch. Links down there below. There's way too many announcements nowadays. Let's get to this ridiculous tier set. So I do want to start off with 9.1 has been some of the best tank balance I have personally ever seen. Right now, you can take every single tank currently, put them in A tier, and you leave it at that, and it's fine. That's how good the balance is. So when I'm doing this, please understand that I'm doing this to the deepest of, like, weirdest scrutinies. I'm including how fun they are to play and things like that. So, because I honestly think 9.2 tank balance is going to be very, very similar. I don't think there's going to be a bad tank spec. I really don't. So, like I said, this is for fun. It's subjective, and I think all tanks are really, really balanced. But for this tier list, we are going to scrutinize the little things, and we're going to include the X factor called fun, because it's a game. At the end of the day, if you're not having fun playing what you're playing, why are you playing a game? Like, so let's go at it. Number one is Bear. So Bear's tier set is only going to make them stronger in Mythic Plus. They're a very defensive tank. They're easy to learn and pick up. They're very difficult to master, but they're very easy to pick up and learn. So low bar to learn and get in, but definitely a high bar, one of the highest bars to master, especially once you start getting into owl weaving, cat weaving, and all that fun little stuff there, and all the stuff that you can do for extra damage or extra anything. And they've got a great toolkit that's full of just utility, just full. And with their tier set, now this one here, I think in my tier set video, I said that I think it's actually going to be Berserk and not Incarn, because Berserk still gives you the 75% decrease on cooldown on Thrash, which is the important part of Incarn. But Incarn gives you a 30% max HP boost for the time that it's up. I don't think they're going to give bears that 30% increase every 30-odd seconds whenever you cast Barkskin, because Barkskin's going to activate Berserk for 4 seconds, but it is going to allow you to spam Thrash, and with enough haste, you should be able to get 4 to 5 Thrashes off. And with your Legendary, that's more than fine to get aggro. Their niche is they're unkillable for 30 seconds every 3 minutes, and they are a very strong defensive tank. I am going to put them up in A tier. If you're picking up Bear for 9.2, you are not going to have a single problem. You bring a ton of utility, you bring a Brez, you bring movement CC, you have it all. Like, you know, you've got a Dispel. You've got a Dispel. What? You got to Soothe on an 8-second cooldown. That's like, it's wonderful. And especially if you like to pug, I think Bear is also going to be very, very strong. So Blood DK. Now, this is one where their tier set looks insanely fun for Mythic Plus. And I'm saying insanely fun. So with the Crimson Rune Weapon Legendary, you're going to be able to get Dancing Rune Weapon down to about 45 seconds to a minute. There's extra strength buffs. It lasts longer. All of this stuff is going to be working around, which is not great for rating, but is really, really good for Mythic Plus. So I'm on this thing of low A, high B. For the simple fact that, like, Kyrion's kind of the rating covenant for blood, but the second Lego legendary isn't going to do much for it, because all it does is it spreads 100% the the shackle or whatnot to a second target. But in raid, that doesn't work out. So you're not getting the benefit of a second legendary in raid that much with Kyrian for raiding. Although Night Fae's not terrible, although I wouldn't really pick it. Venthyr and Necro are still very, very strong, and you're going to get those options as well. But again, those are more AoE based. So that's kind of where I'm putting them there. I don't think many of them are bad, but we got to talk about Brewmaster. Now, Brewmaster is the one I don't think their tier set's going live. I really don't. It's bad. They don't have too much synergy between for being able to wear two legendaries. The Necrolord one isn't bad, but Kyrian's kind of also your main play for Brewmaster. If you're trying to progress anything, it's definitely been more Kyrian than anything else, although the other Covenants are viable. Mostly Night Fae and Necrolord are both pretty good if you decide to go that route. I don't think Venthyr. I haven't heard much about Venthyr Brewmaster, to be honest with you. So, right now, as it sits, the tier set's not going to help them. They're gaining no DPS boost. And right now, threat is definitely an issue in Mythic Plus. If you've tanked anything in Mythic Plus, threat is an issue. Warriors, Ret Paladins, they will just rip it right off you. And without some sort of DPS boost for Brewmaster to be able to keep that threat, I know Keg Smash is good, but there's only 2 charges of it. And all of the DPS specs are going to be getting DPS upgrades, which means they're going to be able to rip threat even harder. So I'm kind of at this point where I think, I want to put it low B, C. Now, and this is the big if here, if they get a damage boost in their tier set, because again, I don't think it's going to go live, I would honestly put them in high A. Any sort of damage boost that they can get from their tier set, because they have insane utility, lots of fun, stuns for days, lots of movement, a good mechanic that's, you know, works around well with Mythic Plus, where how you stagger your damage and things like that. Ring of Peace, they just have so much. If they get that boost, I put them in high A, but right now I'm going to have to put them in low B. Prot Warrior, one of my main loves. Now, this one here, I would love to just say, oh, here, yeah, but that's not going to be the case. It's not. The tier set looks insanely fun. And the way the wording of the tier set, the way it's worded is, it doesn't say it gains 200% damage to Thunderclap and Shield Slam. It says 200% more effectiveness. So we still have to see how that's going to be. So if you spec into Crackling Thunder, if that outburst Thunderclap, if it's going to be 3 times more powerful, does that also make the slow 3 times more powerful as well? Is that going to be a 90% slow on your 8 stacks of outburst? Because that's really, really powerful. And then you also have these other configurations that you got with Shield Slam and things like that. Because Shield Slam can make, with heavy repercussions, can make your shield block last longer. Does that interact with the talent? Is that going to increase your shield block by 3 seconds on that empowered Shield Slam? There's a lot to see. But right now, I honestly think they are high B tier. Because the problem here with Prot Warrior is they're still not great at magic damage. They're great at magic damage tank busters with Spell Reflect. As long as it's spell reflectable, you're fine. But the problem is the lots of little things that start to occur. Because right now, Prot Warrior is the least represented tank in Mythic Plus by a long shot. They're the ones with the lowest keys done, I think. Because, I mean, Blood DKs have already, like, the Blood DKs in China are fucking nuts, man. Sorry for the swearing. But they're doing really, really good, and their tier set highlights what they're already good at and makes them that much more defensible, and is a big DPS increase. The tier set for Prot Warrior is strictly a DPS increase, and it doesn't cover up any of their weaknesses very well. So I think I'd say B tier. Now this one here, Prot Paladin, my new main. I had to swap for Mythic Rating, if you have seen any of that story in my previous videos. Now, here's the one where I think it's going to change for the worse, or there's going to be some sort of internal cooldown. So the tier set for Prot Paladin is insane. The more Shield of the Righteous gives you increased block chance, stacking up to 3 times its 4% block chance, which also adds from Holy Shield. So pretty easily right now, I did the math, I could easily have a 64% block chance with my current stats. And every time you block an attack or a spell with Holy Shield, you have a 33% chance to cast a free judgment at that target. Now, is that going to be on an internal cooldown? If it is not, I think that is going to get changed because it is busted. I think it's going to be really busted in Mythic Plus. I think you're going to see a hard swap over to Holy Shield if there's no internal cooldown on there to crank up the value of your your block chance as much as you can, because with one talent getting a 15% increased block chance and being able to block spells is already strong in Mythic Plus. It's already a good talent if you're not running Blessed Hammer, but if you're just going to be spitting out judgments like crazy. And the two Covenant legendaries, whether you're going Venthyr or Kyrian, which are kind of the two mainstays, you don't really hear Protection Paladins being Necrolord or Night Fae that much, although I will admit I have been getting my Night Fae Paladin up because I got the other three Covenants at 80, so I just want to get the other one. And Night Fae Torghast is actually really fun. Yeah, shoot me, really fun. I have been enjoying Torghast the most on the Paladin, so now that I've run with all four Covenants, I've actually been enjoying the Night Fae one like the most out of all the Covenants. So whatever, is what it is. But high A tier, man, high A tier. Just if it gets changed, I think they're still going to be A tier, but I think they'd still be more here. While Bear, like they're fighting for Bear. But if it stays the way that it is with no internal cooldown, they're high A tier. And that's kind of how it goes there. Like I said, there's no bad tanks right now. Like, there's no F tier tanks. Vengeance Demon Hunter. Now, this one here, okay, Blizz will never let Demon Hunters be bad for long. Okay, they were okay. Like, Havoc was okay for a tier in 9.0, and Vengeance was the go-to. And, like, the moment they realized that they had did that magic damage bug with Vengeance, they were like, we're just gonna bring everybody else up, because they can't bring themselves to nerf Demon Hunter. Like, they can't do it. So Demon Hunter is always going to be great. It's going to be interesting to see how their 4-piece works. Because there is a certain build in Torghast that you can do with the Immolation Aura that just deals, like, crazy amounts of damage. And then we're going to see if there's going to be what the cap is on that, because how quickly it refreshes and things like that. The longer you can keep it up. And because there's the build where the longer you keep that up, the more damage that it does, and with the tier set that synergizes very, very well with it. You could, if there is no cap, that's gonna be nutty, but I don't think there is. Here's gonna be my spicy pick. I think they're going to be here. Personally, I think they're going to be there. These are in order of how good I think they're going to be. These are all insanely close, okay? And I mean insanely close. Through the deepest scrutiny and fun, like, because I also put that in there, like, literally, you could just take this right here and be perfectly fine, although that's not where I think. I think Brewmaster's suffering the most. You could even actually almost put them here, and that could work out just fine. Is what it is. But Brewmaster I don't think is going to be bad. They just need a damage amp from their tier set. Like, they need something. I don't think they need to be more defensive. I think they just need something to ramp up the damage quicker. But this is where I think they're going to be in the order I think they're going to be. I don't like Pally is close to being an S tier tank. I honestly do. But we're going to see what happens. Right? We're going to see what happens. This is, again, my way too early tier list. We'll revisit this in 9.2 to see how things work, what changes were made, and things like that. I thought it'd just be fun. It's a 4-hour extended maintenance. Let's just go through and have fun. What do you think about this? Am I wrong? Am I right? Let's be positive about this and constructive. No one's wrong. It's completely subjective. Another reason why I think Demon Hunter's down here is because I enjoy playing Blood way more than Vengeance. But there's no denying Vengeance is really, really good. There really isn't. It's just not my style of play for a tank. I still have my Vengeance Demon Hunter at like level 56. I just can't bring myself to play it. Every time I play it, I get bored. It doesn't mean the tank is bad. It just means it's not my playstyle. That's it. But this is where I think we're going to end up. We'll see what happens. What do you think about this down below? Let me know. Shout out. I hope you guys are as excited for 9.2 as I am. Have yourselves a good day. Thank you very much.